What forms Karirana Estates today were several farms that were owned by European settlers before independence. Tea started being planted from around 1956. At that time, Mackenzie Dalgety engaged George Williamson, who are now called Williamson Tea, as managing agents for the company. And so they were the ones who were involved in managing, in growing the tea. Tea was planted from 1956 to mid-60s, and from 1956 to 1960, the factory was developed and commissioned in 1960. So the factory you see here has been in operation since 1960. Eden tea was basically fashioned because of its freshness, alongside the concept of the Garden of Eden in the Bible. And I think it has served us well, and we want to live true to that concept. I'm Joseph Ngike. I'm the managing director and the team leader for Karirana Estates Limited, where I'm charged with basically being the vision carrier for the organization on behalf of the board, overseeing the strategy for the organization, how it is executed, and also being in oversight of the daily activities that happen to ensure that all the functions that the company is involved in are executed.
In 1986, after First Chartered Securities gained ownership of Karirana Estates Limited, the company started its journey towards being self-managed.
I joined in February 1995. And at that time, it is the first general manager, John Amoy, who was the general manager. And I had joined in as an assistant factory manager. What I can remember is the size of the operation. First and foremost, there has had been a growth from the 10 tons per day that was being produced at inception to about a capacity of about 50 tons. But that has since grown to 100 tons.
We had 3 departments by that time. There was accounts department, and we will be seeing that as we speak, it has grown to be a finance department. There was a senior accountant by the name Patrick Muturi Jehia. The field manager by then was by name Samuel Dunguthumbi, who immediately left in 1992 back to George Williamson, Kenya Limited. There was the factory manager by the name David Joroge Chuchu, and his assistant called Kenneth Kamau Kabage, the assistant factory manager.
With the growth that has happened, a lot has taken place. In 1998, a 4th department was introduced called the Extension Services Department, which manages farmers. As we stand now, 80% of the tea that we process actually comes from about 350 farmers. We also introduced the department that is HR, sometimes in 2003. And then in 2008, 2007, we introduced the Eden Sales Department. And recently, we also introduced the IT department as a full function.
A huge amount of Karirana tea was sold in bulk from those early inception years. But with the liberalization of the tea industry, Eden Tea came to be.
And of course, for us to launch in 2007, there was quite a bit of preparatory work that had been done over the years. Number 2, We also wanted to diversify. When you sell through the auction, you sell in bulk. And of course, that tea is exported and it is used by other people to pack tea for consumption. So by opening up an arm, we have now 2 lines of business. We still maintain the direct line through the auction where we sell bulk tea for export. And we have also our value-added line, which is the Eden tea, which packages tea to the final consumer. We did an exercise among the employees, and we chose. We were telling them to give us proposals on the names to adopt and why. And Eden tea was basically fashioned because of its freshness, alongside the concept of the Garden of Eden in the Bible. But because we are Christians, we normally say the freshness was there before the fall, because we also know that the fall happened at the Garden of Eden. So we fashion Eden concept against the Garden of Eden before the fall. So it guarantees you quality, it guarantees you freshness, it guarantees you purity, and it guarantees you good health.
We now make our way to the field operations to have a better understanding of just what it takes to get the best green leaf tea production.
The acreage is 324 hectares of production area. That translates to 800 acres. And we have also acquired some land for our firewood, which is a total of 270 hectares. And that is part of the 67% of our capacity to provide the factory with firewood to fire their boilers. In terms of tea production area, we are still the same as when the owner of this estate acquired ownership in 1986. Nothing has changed in terms of the hectareage and tea production. But at the same time, the growing material therein, that is the quality of the material that had been planted then, we have upgraded them to an extent where before we acquired, we had 100% of seedling teas. After we acquired, we have converted and upgraded the clones or the cultivars to more superior cultivars that have been researched on and are able to give a better quality than the traditional seedlings that were there.
Josphat takes us through some of the key agronomical practices that are crucial for producing quality tea.
These agronomic activities, of course, are touching on issues like nutrition. You have to put the right kind of fertilizers. You have also to ensure that you manage the bush so that it remains productive. That means the plucking standard has to be top-notch, where you encourage your bush always to be giving active shoots as opposed to dormant shoots that tends to give lower quality of tea. And of course, we have trained our workers so that they are also able to selectively manually pluck those shoots and do what we call proper post-handling activities so that the leaf is delivered as quickly as possible to the factory. We are able to give around 5 million kilograms of green leaf per year or annually. And that consists of 20% of the factory capacity. The other 80% we outsource leaf from our esteemed outgrowers, who close that gap as a very important component of our supply chain.
Johanna leads the Extension Services team at Karirana Estates Limited. The department manages outgrowers who produce a higher percentage of the green leaf tea used in production.
The farmers give us about 80% of what we process in the factory. Currently, we are having about 363 farmers who are currently delivering leaf to us with a tea area of about 1,776 hectares. That's about 4,440 acres of tea. We are open for all the farmers that meet the minimum requirement as stipulated by the Tea Board of Kenya. As you realize, tea is a regulated crop, and we also have our policy guidelines in terms of how the recruitment is done. So in terms of the recruitment, it can either be initiated by the farmer, or we can identify a potential farmer that we can approach for recruitment. The minimum area currently for us for recruitment is about 2.5 acres. So the process is that you do an application to the MD, which then you attach copies that are required. That includes land ownership details. So you need to attach a copy of the title, you need to attach a copy of your ID. Then the Extension Services team visits the farm and comes up with a report in terms of the status of the farm. We do basically a farm appraisal. Then we'll do a report and share that with the MD with recommendations. If the farmer meets the set criteria, then the MD would approve the recruitment, and then that farmer is recruited into our systems.
Lydia is one of the outgrowers who has benefited from supplying tea to Karirana Estates Limited.
Kwa majina naitwa Lydia Jeri Mungai, na hii shamba ni yangu. Nilikuwa nimeoleka huko, nikaachiwa na bwana. So nilikuta bwana akiwa na ukulima Karirana, na juu ya services yake ile alikuwa amepewa na Karirana, tuliweza kugawiwa na mtu akapata shamba lake. Nilienda huko Karirana nikaendelea na Karirana, na mpaka wa leo tunaendelesha vizuri. Shamba ni eka 12 na tunaendelea kupanda huko juu, na niko na ingine ng'ambo ile. Wakati iko chai tunachuna 15,000, na kama hakuna ina reach 8,000 kilos. Wanatusaidia sana, sababu kitu ya kwanza wanatuchukulia chai hapa kwa shamba na wanaleta karani wao na anaangalia chai. Ule hako hajaleta ile standard inatakikana, anachagua alafu wananunua. Kama Karirana wanatusaidia sana kutupea fertilizer, alafu unakatwa pole pole kulingana na ile masao unapeleka huko. Kitu ya pili, dawa ya kulimia huko, si unaona si kuchafu, pia wanatupea, unakatwa pole pole. Kitu ya tatu, ukikosa pesa juu ya kuchunisa, unaenda pale unapewa advance. Pia unakuja unachunisa, tena ukipeleka chai wanakukata. Kwa hivyo wamekuwa usaidizi sana kwangu. Juu saa hii kupata mlima wako na pesa ya kununua fertilizer na dawa ni ngumu.
Once the green leaf tea has been harvested, either from the nucleus estate or from the outgrowers, it makes its way to the factory where the process of making tea begins.
Basically, what we are looking for is the top 2 leaves and the bud. And the reason why we are looking for this is that this is where the quality of tea is concentrated. And so the tea pickers, they know that, and they know that they are required to pick the top 2 leaves and the bud. Now, the quality control that we do is through sampling, whereby we sample a number of bags from the vehicle, draw a representative sample of, from a number of bags, depending on how many bags the vehicle is carrying. At least 10% of the bags should be sampled. And once that sample is brought into this place, bulking of the leaf is done so that the sample that we are going to evaluate is representative of what is inside the vehicle. Depending on the quality scores, the leaf will either be accepted or returned to the supplier, to the farmer, to make it good. The quality parameters that the leaf achieves are recorded for purpose of traceability to show this supplier number so and so brought this amount of green leaf, and this was the quality for that consignment.
The green leaf tea is now weighed before it's offloaded into the withering troughs.
The vehicle will come and step on the weigh bridge so that the weight of the green leaf and the vehicle is taken at that point. Now, this is important because we need to determine the quantity of green leaf that the farmer has brought to the factory. So that weight will be captured through a computer system, and the vehicle will be allowed to go into the factory. The second process that follows after that is called withering. And here, the green leaf is spread on the withering troughs to allow for two key processes to take place. One, the physical withering. Physical withering is basically the removal of moisture from the green leaf. Because when the green leaf comes from the farm, it has got a high percentage of moisture. We are talking about 85% and above moisture. Now, this amount of water needs to be reduced through evaporation. The other process that is very important is chemical withering. Chemical withering is whereby the chemical compounds within the green leaf, within the leaf cells, undergoes a natural transformation, a chemical process. The major components in the green leaf are called catechins. And these catechins will break down through a natural process of decay. And that is what we call chemical withering.
The third step involves maceration of the leaf into small particles through cutting, tearing, and curling.
In the cutting process, three things happen. The first thing is crushing, which we do using a machine called a rotavade, where the leaf is pressed against a rotating shaft with veins, and because of that squeezing action, it is crushed into smaller particles. Then it moves from the rotavade to the CTC machine. Here is a series of rollers, set of two rollers moving in opposite direction, with properly sharpened teeth, and the leaf is passing in between to achieve two things. There is the tearing, cutting it into small pieces, what we call maceration, and then culling it to form particles, the grains that you see when you go to the shop and buy tea leaves. So that process of crushing, tearing, and culling is what gives us the name CTC tea.
After CTC, the leaf now goes through fermentation, which is a monitored process under controlled temperature and relative humidity.
Here now, we are exposing the tea juices or the tea components. Remember, I talked about the polyphenols. We are exposing them to oxygen, again under controlled conditions of temperature and relative humidity. In the oxidation process, the polyphenols react with oxygen from the air in the presence of an enzyme called polyphenol oxidase to transform that into another set of compounds called their flavins and their rubigins. These two sets of compounds are responsible for different quality parameters or characteristics of the final product. Their flavins, which are the first ones to form, are responsible for the brightness of the cup and also the briskness. When you taste, you want to get a lively cup of tea. You don't want a tea that is flat. Their rubigins, they form later in the process. Their rubigins are responsible for the color of the tea. When you brew the tea, you see the color, and also the strength. You know, a strong cup of tea and body, thick.
The tea now goes through drying to reduce the moisture content.
The dry is a vessel whereby there is a blast of hot air blown from underneath. It passes through the tea, and by passing through the tea, it drives away the moisture. the tea suddenly dries and the moisture content reduces significantly from around 65% moisture to 3% moisture. This process happens within a short time, but it must be regulated so that it doesn't happen so abruptly so as to cause what we call case hardening. You have got to let it cool gradually.
Before we proceed to sorting, it is important to note that tea making for green tea and purple tea takes a rather different approach.
The difference between black tea and green tea is basically in the withering and the oxidation stages. For green tea, you ensure that the fermentation does not take place, that is the oxidation, and also the chemical withering does not take place. Why? Because you want to preserve the chemical composition of the leaf as it was when it was in the farm. How do we ensure that it does not undergo chemical withering, it does not undergo oxidation? Is by killing the enzyme at the very early stages after plucking. You make sure that you kill that enzyme because it is the enzyme that facilitates the chemical reactions. We do that by dipping the green leaf into boiling water momentarily for about 1 minute, and then you dip it in cold water. That shock denatures the enzyme and prevents any chemical reaction from taking place.
As part of the quality assurance for the tea that is produced by Karirana Estates, tea tasting is important.
We do our quality assurance every hour, and this we do by collection of samples from the dryers and from the sorting section. We'll come with all the primary grades here and prepare what we call Rika. And what we are doing is that we'll put a bit of 5 grams of the tea in a cup, then add some boiling water, allow it to simmer for about 5 minutes, then sieve that liquor into a bowl. And this is what now we'll taste. Quality assessment for tea is basically through tasting, but you'll also be looking at the tea's appearance, looking at how clean it is, how true to grade, true to type, well rolled or well cut. Then when we taste, we'll be able to deduce other positive attributes of tea. And if there is any fault, then you'll be able to pick it from the tasting. As you are tasting, you can even manage to pick a fault that happened in withering, a fault that happened in fermenting, a fault that happened in drying, and even you're able to pick maybe an issue with the storage of that tea.
After the tea has been dried, it is now sorted, then packed as by the different grades.
We generate about 9 grades, 9 conventional grades. But ourselves, we are focusing on the 5 primary grades, and that's what we really look at when we are doing our quality assessment, because these are the grades that fetch the best prices in the market. So with me here, I have the first. The primary grades goes by the particle sizes. So we have the first grade, the BP, the broken peckle, which has got the bolder particles, followed by broken peckle 1, which has slightly bolder particles, and it goes down up to dust 1, which has the finer grades. So when we are looking at those teas, we want to see how well that tea has been sorted, the removal of the fibers. Fibers are part of the other secondary grades, but we are looking at how well the tea has been sorted in terms of fiber removal, how well the tea was cut. We need to see the particles, sizes, and grains being properly formed and rolled. We're also looking at what we refer to as the true to grade, but there is no mixing between one grade and the other. So we need to see that the particles that are present in a particular grade relate to that grade by itself.
Tea is then packed for auction, and the other arm of the business does value addition through the brand Eden Tea.
One of the products that we're offering is the black tea. That is the ordinary tea that people are used to, and we're offering it in two different packets. We have the tea bags packets and the loose tea packets, and of course the loose tea we have the premium packets. On the same, we're also offering a ginger flavored black tea. This is just black tea that we have blended with ginger, value added with the ginger to ensure that it gives that taste of the ginger. We also offer lemon flavored black tea. That's just black tea plus the lemon flavor. 2 are green tea and purple tea, which we manufacture through the orthodox method. And even sometimes we do also the CTC method, depending on the customer requirements. What we do on the CTC, we pack it in the tea bags. And what we do in orthodox, we pack in sachet. Here we want to retain the original characteristics of the tea. That's why green tea doesn't undergo the same process that we take black CTC through, where we omit some of the processes just to maintain the polyphenols and the catechins in the tea.
From the bush, the tea has now made it to the cup. Here is what it takes to prepare a proper cup of purple tea.
You'll get a tea bag. Then add some hot water, preferably boiling water. Give it about 4-5 minutes to allow the steeping process. Steeping process just to allow the tea to ooze out, the juice to ooze out in the water. Get some piece of sliced lemon. Why we're adding lemon is to enhance the color, the coloring of the purple tea, just to get that purple pigmentation. And of course, the lemon gives the purple tea a desirable taste. So you'll size to the amount that you require. You can decide to put the slices as they are as whole pieces into the teapot or your cup, but you can also decide to squeeze the lemon juice itself. Just squeeze the lemon while the tea bag is still in the cup. Also give it a few minutes, about 3 to 4 minutes. Then after that, remove your tea bag, squeeze it, just to allow the tea to flow through. And there you have your cup of purple tea.
Eden Tea has refined consumer choice by giving everyone a wide product choice. And as Humphrey, the head of sales, now explains, this has been crucial in the success of Eden Tea.
I joined in 2016, and by that time the volumes were slightly not where they are, so we've grown. We've developed new products in the market, and that is flavored teas. When you look at the consumer profile, tea consumer profile, the younger consumer of tea is not taking tea the way the older consumer used to take tea. That is the loose tea and boiling. The younger consumer prefers tea bags and also flavored products. And for the health conscious consumers, they prefer tea, which is suitable for their health.
I still remember at around 2010, we were positioned around position 10 in terms of market share. And very small amounts, quantum, in terms of the volumes that we were being able to sell. We started opening up starting off, of course, with the markets that are nearer to us. And we have spread out over the years. And we command a very strong position in market share, very close to the market leaders.
Our key responsibility is to ensure that the consumers and customers get our products in the right quantity and quality and at the right time. And we have a dedicated team outside there of a sales team, and they are involved in building relationships with customers, and once they get the orders from those customers, they will come to the factory and we ensure that they are delivered. We've got a fleet of vehicles which do that.
Evanson is the longest serving employee at Karirana Estates Limited. He shares just what it means to work in Karirana.
I joined Karirana Estates Limited back in 1991, and to be specific, 1st of July 1991. In 2004, I realized my focus, that I was actually called to be a human resource person. So much as I had risen to the position of an assistant accountant within the accounts department, I changed focus, went back to school. I did right from the basic. I joined the Kenya Institute of Management and did an advanced certificate in business management, pursued a diploma in human resource management, and then a degree in 2007 in human resource management.
Now leading the Human Resources and Administration Department, Evanson shows us how Karirana is continuously aiming to provide a sustainable working environment.
We have a children creche. A children creche is whereby we have a teacher, a qualified teacher, an ECD teacher, who will take care of the children until they are due to join primary school. The company feeds these children. Initially, they used to have a cost sharing, but the managing director, through his wisdom, felt that these are our children, and the company is now supporting those children so that they are prepared to join the local primary schools. And it is here, right from when they are young, so that their mothers can work without a lot of stress. Our medical clinic, which is now fully fledged, it was in our current store. Now we have a medical clinic which has a clinic officer and a nurse, all qualified for the position, treating all the employees from all over, from management to the lowest level.
With over 60 years' experience in production of high-quality tea, Karirana Estates Limited has positioned itself as a sustainable business.
We've got rivers around here. And the rivers are important because water, we all need water, either to run the business or even for the community that stays around here, our employees and even the other community out there. Now, some of the things we are involved in are like ensuring, those watering places continue running. In that case, we'll be talking about like taking care of the riparian section of our rivers. So what we do, like now, we've got an indigenous tree nursery. In that indigenous tree nursery, we've got a variety of indigenous trees. Now, what we do with those trees is that we supply them to the community, members of the community, the neighbors, even some of our farmers, and the community at large, to plant them particularly along the riparian areas, so that as the forests remain there, even the natural habitat is kept. Animals, the bird species, they can be found there. More recently, we also engaged in planting of bamboo along the riparian, some of our riparian areas, particularly within the estate. Now, bamboo is very good because we are told it absorbs the carbon emissions a lot better. So when we have them there, not only will it protect the riparian area, but it will also help in that aspect. And besides that, we hope that in future, we can even harness it as an alternative source of fuel.
As the company focuses on mitigating environmental risks, they have incorporated solar as part of power supply to the factory.
There's a lot of carbon emissions when you're dealing with electricity, and whatever process that is involved. So now when we use the solar energy, that is the renewable energy, we are able to reduce those carbon emissions within the environment. And not only that, we are focusing on the element of efficiency of energy, so that then it is sustainable for the long term, because as we are aware, solar is natural. It is something natural, you harness and you use it. We have even sponsored the community events like marathons. We have got something like the Forest Challenge, you know, where the Karirana Forest, we normally sponsor an annual event that involves tree planting and just creating an awareness to the community about the conservation of our natural environment and even the water towers.
From the seedlings to the farms to the farmers and the wider community, Karirana Estates Limited continues to not only guarantee quality-made tea, but also a thriving, sustainable environment.
For Karirana, the board of directors provides the oversight role, and they are very keen about the relevant governance principles, best practice principles that would allow the organization to run sustainably. So in that oversight role, they make sure the policies that are required are in place. They make sure that succession planning is on, just to ensure that all stakeholders are able to benefit from it in a sustainable manner, and above all, that the company continues to create that value that would lead then to everybody benefiting from it. There is also the element of the risk management, just making sure that if it is audits are done. There's things to do with fraud prevention to make sure that sustainability is ongoing. So with that board of directors support, you find then for us to operate sustainably becomes something which is also sustainable.
Tea is one of the most widely consumed non-alcoholic beverages globally. Eden Tea has leveraged on efficiencies from bush to cup with stringent quality assurance along the entire process, making it among the top tea brands in the region.
Tea grown around this area, particularly because of its very low temperatures at high altitude. It accumulates a lot of flavor and aroma attributed to slow accumulation of the same, as opposed to perhaps other areas that are hotter, where most of those shoots, because they have a very short plucking ground, there is no time for that accumulation.
Ndio mimi nakunywa Eden Tea sababu ni nzuri, ukiweka tudogo inakuwa sawa na taste inakuwa sawa. Huwa nanunulia watu na wapea, si watu tu wa Kenya, lakini niko na watu nje, US, UK, uko na wapelekea na wanasemaga Eden Tea.
Karirana is an organization that is very environment conscious. We are here not just to benefit the organization. And so by supporting Karirana and buying the Eden Tea, we will all be working towards increasing the sustainability, because we all stand to benefit. When you're looking at an organization that is, socially responsible, concerned about the sustainability of every stakeholder along the line, it will be good for us to all buy Eden Tea.
First is to thank our consumers because of trusting us, and reassure them that we shall continue giving them quality with the experience which we have And we would give our consumers the commitment that we shall continue giving them the quality tea which they have always enjoyed. We shall also get new products which they demand for.
They have supported us since 2008 to where we are today, and so we are forever grateful, and we always do what we can to give them the best products, and we are continuously thinking of any new things that we can do that can make Eden Tea even better than it is today.